Yeah, this video is a review of my Mondraker. Basically, the price on this in the UK, as I'm in Jersey, this is a £5,890 bike. Ouch, big ouch, but it's got a lot of bike. So let me go into the details with you so you can see exactly what you are getting for your bang for your buck. Okay, guys. Hi folks, welcome back to RC Shed. Something a little bit different yet again. Digressing off my normal RC channel, but I thought I'd keep it a bit more interesting, and while the summer's out we can start digressing and do things a little bit more different, but still along the lines of the RC channel. Basically all things brushless, electric, lipo batteries, this, that and the other. So today I'm going to do a little walkthrough about my new purchase, which is my Mondraker mountain bike, as you can see behind me. So basically this bike is a 2019-2020 bike. It's actually a medium frame. It's a 29er, fully loaded with everything. Anybody knows Mondraker, they're actually a Spanish company that do a lot of enduros and downhills, this, that and the other, and they came up with this bike. Yeah, it's little unknown as regards a Trek, Cube, this, that and the other, but Mondraker are kind of the leaders in geometry and stuff for mountain bikes, especially e-mountain bikes. So this is why I pitched for this one. So we'll go into a little bit more detail and I'll show you all about this awesome bit of kit. So the Mondraker Level R 2019/2020 bike. It's a great bit of kit. I'm trying to do this so you can actually see me and stuff. So starting at the front, I might actually turn the camera around for you. You can see now. So as I said at the beginning, this is a 29er, which actually means the size of the wheels. And as it's set up at the moment, it's running a 29 at the front and a 29 at the rear. I will be changing that out for the rear on my Lapierre Zesty over there, which is running a 27.5. So what I will do is actually swap the rear wheel for the 27.5, and yeah, that means running two completely different size wheels, but it works for downhill. So the back gives you a little bit more agility and spinning around and turning in tight corners, having the smaller wheel, whereas the big 29er on the front tackles those big bumps and you can go over pretty much anything with a 29 wheel. So working up from the wheels, obviously disc brakes all round, SRAM, which is a phenomenal make. We're moving on to the forks, and these are the RockShox Lyrics. Everybody's familiar with the obviously with the forks and stuff, but everybody normally thinks let's go for the Fox 34s or whatever, or 36s. I think on my Lapierre I've got Fox 34s, but RockShox Lyrics are just as good, and some people may say even better than the FoxShox. So I've got 180mm of travel, which is pretty decent. I'm not going seriously off-road, so it's, you know, there's enough travel there. If we have a look around, you can see I've nowhere near bottomed out on there with my little indicator and stuff, so not any problem of bottoming out. So basically this Mondraker, it's running the Generation 4 Bosch 4 motor, which is the most up-to-date Bosch motor. It's pushing out about 75 newton meters, 75-80 newton meters of torque, which is an awful lot for a push bike. Yes, the ideas of the high bike, this, that and the other, which is new, is actually pushing out I think about 130 newton meters of torque, which is seriously a lot of push for a little motor like that. But for me and what I'm doing, this is amply sufficient, and as it is, it's a Generation 4, so it's as modern as you can get it. You can get it chipped, but I've been kind of warned not to mess with the internals of the motor because it does void warranties. So if you're all trying to unlock it and go to that maximum speed. This gets up to about 16 mile an hour assisted, but then after 16 miles an hour it stops and goes, the power stops. So but when you unlock it or you chip them, you can unlock a whole host of extra speeds and this, that and the other, but for me, as it is, completely standard. So basically on this bike I've got the Bosch Generation 4 motor, and I've got the spray face crank with HT wheels. I've got all SRAM gear sets on here, so it's a beautiful piece of kit. Obviously standard dropper post, if I can just hold that, so everything is mounted up really nice and easy on there. So basically thumb mounted dropper post, literally boom, there we go, all done. You have the trip computer, let me just turn this on for you, with a lovely little display. Just zoom in there for you, there you go. Now with this thumb throttle here, you can actually change it from the settings. As I said, I've got 4 settings. I've got let me show you, I'm actually let me make it, so there you go, I'll move in like that. You can see the line at the bottom, that's green, that's actually your normal eco mode. Next one is actually a tour mode, it changes to a light blue. Then you go to a mountain bike, e-mountain bike, which is the 3rd setting on this motor, and then actually go to turbo mode, which is the top mode, which is pretty much full whack up any hill. So, and the difference is, the easiest way to show that is on turbo mode you can see 39 mile. This is fully charged 100%. Going down to e-mountain bike, you're dropping down to 45 mile an hour range, 40 mile range, sorry. Dropping down to the Tour, which gives you 52 miles range, and then down to Eco, you can actually see it's on 80 mile range. So that's quite a lot for an e-bike. Anyone that goes out and does an 80 mile ride is a pretty good ride. So that's what the eco buttons and the modes do on there. So another thing on here, it tells you all about your cadence. I'm not going to go into too much detail, this is just a real overview for you guys, because I do know that on YouTube there's very few English versions of reviews of this Mondraker, but as you can see, it gives you maximum speed, average speed, range, power, your cadence, heartbeat. You can hook this up to your heart monitor and stuff, and you know, you can get all the information you need for monitoring your heartbeat, this, that and the other. Total odometer, yes, I have done a lot of miles on this, and back to the normal screen. So that's the computer and the settings on it. There's lots of things you can do, but as I said, this is an overall quick overview of this awesome bit of kit. So if you have a look on here, you've also got the the Super Deluxe coilover springs for the center of the suspension. The thing what I find with the coilover shock is actually makes it feel a little bit more like it's doing its job. If you get too much with the air suspension and the piston setup, it seems a little bit soft, where this really gives you a good feeling of exactly what you're going over, and it just seems to give you more feedback on the bike, and I kind of like it. First time I've had the coilover shocks, as I said, on my Lapierre over there, I've got the Fox suspension pumped up to about, I don't know, 130 psi, whereas this is just a little bit more of a different setup. So going down to the wheels, obviously you can see these are the DT Swiss 1900s. Really nice wheels. They look good on the bike. I'm fitted this with the Maxxis Assegai tyres, which are also really good tyres. Plenty of grip on and off road. As I said, I'm not massive into huge off road, just kind of trails and this, that and the other. So going up, as you see on the side of the bike, this long tube down here is actually where they've hidden the battery. Now the battery can quite, I think it's about an 800, don't quote me on this, I think it's about, I'll need to, as I say, I'm still learning about this bike, but I think it's about 800 milliwatts. I need to read up, and I shall at the end of this video make sure that's correct. So that's where all the the battery is all hidden nice and secluded in there. No damage from anything going to get hit from underneath or damage the batteries. But all in all, it's a beautiful bit of kit. A great bike. Only thing which is a little bit, let me just try and turn you around again. Yeah, the only thing which is a little bit of annoying, which I find with this bike, is the fact that it actually weighs, wait for it, 28 kilos, which in the scale of e-mountain bikes is quite a lot. Although the 28 kilos does actually help when you're going downhill, because the weight doesn't matter. It's still very nimble on the track. It still, you know, turns a tight corner. The switchbacks are no problem, this, that and the other. But if you do happen to run out and it's on a hill, you will be sweating at the end of this, because this is a heavy bike. High bikes are around 24 kilo. The cubes are coming in, the Levo now is actually coming in at about 19.5 kilos, so that's 10 kilo less than what this is. And I know this is a 2019-2020 bike, so it is a modern bike, but in years to come, e-bikes especially, will come down in weight, and they'll be back down to the normal, you know, 18 pound, 15 pound, what normal bikes are, you know, like the Lapierres, the Santa Cruzes, this, that and the other. But it's a long way ahead, but